And joining us now is Anne and Ray O'Neill, who have a younger child, their son Oisín, who was diagnosed with Prader Willi Syndrome a month after he was born. Anne, having listened to Anne's story there, do you recognise some of her story in Oisín?
Well, obviously the food issue, but Oisín is only 8, and I suppose we learned from within 2 weeks of Oisín being born that he had Prader Willi Syndrome, and we decided there and then that we would do the best for Oisín.
Well, I mean, talking about early intervention, you've worked with children with special needs before, so you really did intervene, look, it seems like at the right time. Just talk us through some of the treatments that Oisín's had.
Yeah, the minute Oisín was born, and when we realised that he had Prader Willi Syndrome, I knew that get him into services. So I asked him to be referred to a place called the Levana Centre in Cork, and they did physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy. My father used to actually joke that Oisín had a better social life than most.
Yeah. Because
he used to go to mini music, he used to go swimming, they have a heated pool, so he used to go swimming. And we used to have a press full of chocolate and cakes and biscuits. And Oisín was a tiny baby and he was being tube fed. But we went home that evening and we cleared out that press. Because we said, this is what we have to do for Oisín. And that's become our lives, healthy diets in our house.
And to what an extent is the day built around, you know, is there a routine about meal time and, you know, restricting the size of meals, that type of stuff?
Yeah, there would be. Oisín is very good because he trusts us that he will get snacks at a particular time. He has a small breakfast. When he's in school, he gets a small break. It consists of rice cake and fruit, maybe. He'll get a sandwich for his lunch. Oisín will get one slice of bread folded over. And he'll get another snack at 3:30. Again, fruit, rice cake, and he'll get a tea in the evening, and he'll get a low-fat Actimel before he goes to bed.
And what about then, because I'm sure there are all sorts of temptations, especially when Oisín's at school, because he's in 2nd class now. I'm sure his other pupils take out all sorts of treats. How does Oisín react?
Oisín is very good because he's always been aware that he has Prader Willi Syndrome. He knows that he has a special diet and there's particular things he can't have. We're actually very lucky in the school we're in, because in Oisín's school they have no junk during the week and they have a treat on Friday. So Oisín then gets his own kind of treat on Friday, which is little fruit sticks. You get good things now in health shops, actually. And Oisín is okay with that.
And Ray, how has he reacted to this? Has, you know, we heard in Anne Grassick's story there that her son can get agitated around the whole food thing. Is Oisín sort of, has he accepted now?
I think he has, more or less. I know once he gets his own food and he's happy with what he gets, we probably control the quantity. So I think that is a big issue, all right, that he can't necessarily eat ad lib.
Because they're only 3-year-old portions, fairly small portions.
More or less, yeah, they would be small portions, yeah. So we would have control on that. I suppose I don't know at the moment, obviously being only 8 and living in our house. He lives by our rules as such, and it's up to us to...
It must be tough though all the same. I know there was a trick-or-treating recently there at Halloween. There was an episode on the doorstep, is that right, Anne?
Well, like that now, he has younger brothers and sisters, and a friend of mine actually calls them the Prader Willi police, because they realise also what Oisín can and can't have. And we were at a neighbour's house, and she knows Oisín well, and she got him rice cakes, but they were chocolate-covered rice cakes. So Oisín isn't allowed the chocolate-covered ones.
So Oisín, it must make it a lot easier for you when your brothers and sisters are looking out for you, does it? Yeah.
It's great to have them keeping an eye out for you, yeah?
And of course, Mummy and Daddy have helped enormously too, haven't they? Because they're very open and honest. That's been a fairly important policy for you, Ray.
It has, I suppose, yeah, like I said earlier, he knows, well, he's Prader Willi, and all his friends would know it. The guys at home would know it, his siblings. Grania is only 6 and Roy is only 5, and they really look after him and stuff. And our neighbours and friends would all be well aware of it. Like, probably maybe not to the full detail that we would have going on in our house from day to day, but... You know,
I suppose a lot of it then is trying to head off possible issues, like, you know, the trick-or-treating one that the brothers and sisters dealt with, the birthday parties as well, that you have to sort of give advance notice of.
Yeah, I suppose in our way, Oisín is our first child, so it has become our life. Oisín goes to parties. He's the only child who goes to a party with a party bag, and in it is a roll, and that's a treat to Oisín, because normally it's brown bread all the way, but he gets a roll, a white roll, and you get the diet yoghurt. So if the kids are having burgers and chips, Oisín has a white roll and a yoghurt. But Oisín doesn't know, that's what he knows, and he's happy with that. Treats are limited. He doesn't get chocolate or biscuits or cakes. And we've started to introduce jellies, so he gets a little packet of jellies, and they're a treat to Oisín now.
And the Friday treat as well, he does get something a bit different.
Yeah, and we all treat ourselves on a Friday, even Melanie.
But that's allowed now.
Yes.
Now, part of the syndrome as well is that Oisín was born with more fat than muscle, so it must make exercising a little bit more difficult, because last year a lot of the kids got bikes for Christmas, didn't they?
That's right, yeah. We got, Santa was very good to us last year. He bought everybody a bike. And... except Mammy, yeah. But Mammy was pregnant at the time, so she was happy with that. But all the guys got bikes. And I suppose it was our first time realising that actually cycling wasn't going to be that easy for Oisín. But Oisín and us, we talked about it, and Oisín realised that if he really wanted to cycle like the guys, he'd have to practice that bit more. And Oisín decided, yeah, that's what I will do. And I would sit inside the kitchen, and Oisín would hop on his bike, and you'd see him with a little concrete area, and he'd cycle and try. Because Oisín has low muscle tone, and his balance... So it was harder for him to cycle, but now he can cycle over to his nannies and back.
And that's not all, is it, Oisín?
Lots of other things as well you're into. You're into lots of sports, is that right? Hurling? Is that the number one?
And what team were you telling us earlier you support? Not that I remember. I'm so bad with sport.
What's your team that you play with for under-8s?
Father O'Neill's.
Father O'Neill's, yeah. Like that, no, he's very, like, I suppose we're both sporty. And we come from a sporty area, we have a fantastic community. And the local team is Father O'Neill, so he plays under-8s football and hurling. And he loves rugby. Don't you love watching rugby? Who's your favourite Munster or rugby team? Who's Munster?
Has to be Munster.
You do like Brian O'Driscoll, all right, don't you? Yeah,
he's all right, isn't he?
There'd be little mini games going on in our kitchen a lot.
Now, what about the future? I mean, how are you looking ahead? I mean, I'm sure it's got to be a source of anxiety for you, or not?
To a degree, I suppose it will be. There is uncertainty there. Oisín is only 8. We're very tough with Oisín. Yes. But that's paying off at the moment. But Oisín knows why we are tough. We just take every day.
You don't have the episodes that we've heard from other people with the syndrome, that the agitation, that maybe the sort of meltdowns, as they've been called.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't with Oisín, but if something goes that he's not sure of, or if he's in a situation that he's not sure of, and you can't explain to him, then he can become upset and anxious. Like coming here today, we had to explain what was happening, that there would be waiting and what we were going to do, and he was fine with that. Or if you promise him something and you don't follow through, that can be quite difficult for Oisín to accept.
Ray, you've kind of dealt with this more or less on your own. Do you think more help could be offered?
I suppose we have dealt with it on our own, but like I said earlier on with the food issue, we started as we meant to one. We just cleared out our presses of any junk food. We would be very sporty.
Do you think the government could do more, though, to help families like that?
Yeah, well, I suppose you would always hope they could. But whether it's possible or not, we don't know. I suppose down the road, residential care is something that could be on the horizon.
Is there a supportive group out there where you can get advice?
There is a Prader Willi Syndrome Association Ireland, and was set up by Lena Lawler. She now has a son of 40.
But is the professional expertise, it seems to be, what's lacking?
What's lacking? Like, we have a fantastic association, and parents, we learn from each other, which is fantastic. But a lot of time when you go to dietitians or physios, they ask us about Prader Willi.
And you're telling the same story over and over again.
And we're telling the same story. And they say, God, that's fascinating. We said, yes, it is fascinating, but we need your help.
Yes.
Like, we've got an awful lot of help from the Canadian websites and the American websites on Prader Willi. And we are trying to build a more awareness. And I suppose this is why things like this are fantastic for us as an association.
And the association, there is a website for people
there
to
is,
be able to find out more.
Prader Willi Association Ireland.
Okay. Well, it's great to see Oisín looking and behaving so well. You must be so proud of him.
Yeah, we are very proud of Oisín. And we're proud of all the guys, really, because they're great brothers and sisters to each other. And Oisín is a brilliant boy. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on the morning show.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.